Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm standing here at this marker as many times as I don't walk by here. This is the dock I walked by earlier. I don't know what dock it is. But there's a marker here that says, I have taken my people out to the roads and in dark places and looked at the stars of heaven and prayed for the southern man to turn his heart. Benjamin Singleton, a black man who guided runaway slaves through Detroit to Canada in the 1850s. Whoa! So I don't know who this, wait, let me say his name again. I don't know who this Benjamin Singleton is, but maybe I'll do some research. Ashe, Benjamin Singleton. See what happened when you be out walking around and when people put markers down and acknowledge stuff, you never know what you might find. So it's a lighthouse here. And I was thinking earlier, I guess I've been thinking a lot, you know, it's only a mile from Detroit to Canada. Although, you know, I've learned that, you know, there were enslaved people in Canada. They had these grandfather clauses with enslavement. So like when and I could be wrong, but when one European group, like let's say the English took over Detroit from the French people who continued to live here, they're like, well, you know, y'all can stay here, and since you're French, and y'all could keep your enslaved Africans. So they had something similar like that in Canada, so that, you know, there were people who, even though some people were running to Canada to get free, there were people there who were enslaved, and back and forth across the river, you know, here's another marker. Immigrant workers, Detroit riverfront industries and the automobile plants depend on immigrant labor. In 1910, 3 out of 4 people in Detroit were immigrants or children of immigrants. They came from a dozen nations, including Germany, England, Ireland, Canada, Russia, and Poland. The immigrant population almost tripled over the next 20 years. I don't know where all these markers came from, because they ain't new. So I guess all last year I done walked by them. This is about the steamships. Oh, okay, the steamships. At this site in 1924, can y'all see? The Detroit Shipbuilding Company finished the 2 largest side-wheel steamships ever built, the Greater Detroit and the Greater Buffalo. Both vessels were 535 feet long and carried more than 2,100 passengers. The Greater Buffalo was converted to an aircraft carrier for pilot training during World War II. Both were scrapped in the 1950s after ferry service ended. Bella done found her a place to bury her pizza. She probably don't want me putting it on camera, because knowing y'all will probably come looking for her pizza. I know how y'all are. But, you know, we think of Detroit as, oh, this was this great place of freedom and people came here for their freedom. But, you know, in this country, you know, throughout the history, there were, you know, even people who were free. If you were black, and even if you're black now, you're still kind of concerned about, you know, issues of freedom and issues of true liberty. So Detroit was no exception. And, you know, like most of the country, or like a lot of the country, some of the most, you know, anti-black, hostile to black people, virulent enslavers and believers and supporters of the system of enslavement were right here in Detroit. I think it must have been Jamon's tour. If you come to Detroit, get Jamon Jordan's history tour, Black History Tour, Underground Railroad tour. Yes, girl, yes, now we free. We can explore. We don't have to be stuck to that piece of pizza. Any other markers here? Okay, so that's pretty exciting. And there's a lighthouse there. Can y'all see the lighthouse in the background? There it is. Yep, there's a lighthouse here. And this is the state park and harbor. The Milken State Park and Harbor. So, Milliken or Milken? I don't know. I'm a terrible Detroiter. I don't know the name of the state park. Y'all, this state park wasn't here when I was growing up. They've developed the riverfront since, I was young, we had Hart Plaza, but now, as I was mentioning earlier on another video, they're developing the waterway, or the vision is to develop the waterway. I think now we have 3 miles of river walk. Ooh, it's loud. Let's walk by the water. I think now we have 3 miles of river walk, but you know, again, it's not straight all against the river. So I'm gonna walk backwards. Can y'all see the Detroit River? It's so beautiful. But I don't think I can go straight from this state park to Rivard Plaza, which is by where I parked. But yeah, it's the state park. Milliken, I think it's Milliken, y'all. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's so peaceful. That's some kind of freighter or something going by. But we're gonna be on the water in a minute. Oh my God, look at those big old birds. It's a family of birds with children. Adolescents, they don't look like babies, but they littler. Okay, y'all, we're coming on the water. Yeah, you can see those white things sticking up out of the trees over there. I think that's part of Shane Park. So when you go to the concerts on the river, you're sheltered. Yes. Yeah, you can't walk very far over here against the water, but it's still nice. And look at how this Windsor across the way. It's an international walk this morning. Not really, because we still in this nation, but we looking at another nation. Does that count? All right, that's what I got for y'all. Y'all can see the Renaissance Center back there with the Chevrolet GM on it. Across the river in Windsor, there's a casino. That's the Caesar Casino. Y'all see the Caesar Casino? All right, Fabulites, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Be you, be fabulous you. William G. Milliken State Park and Harbor. I think he might have been a governor or something, I don't know. All right, peace.